Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Phone Booth Fighting. Excuse me, losing my voice there for a second. I'm Richard Hunter. That is Frank Mir. And this is a podcast that has been going on now for nigh on 5 years and counting, Frank. We are now officially in our 6th year. And you can tell how comfortable we've got with doing the podcast because I believe this morning we could play a game of who slept in the longest. You look sleepy, and so do I. What time did you get up?
I got up about 8:30.
You beat okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know how we're gauging wins and losses here. I slept later than that.
I probably just I went for my cardio in the morning, and then I come home and we try and eat breakfast like about 10 o'clock, my first meal and stuff. So now I'm just waiting for Jen.
Now, see, now you're showing off. Yeah, I already got up, done the cardio.
I got stuck on the fat guy list with the wife. They're just going to take over. So now she's like obsessed with the Rock's diet. So all I know is that the last couple of days I've eaten a lot more. Like I feel like Daffy Duck's nephews when they discovered the cigars.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to smoke a cigar, huh? Like yesterday, me and Bella were trying to eat after Syndicate, and I was just like, I can't eat anymore.
Wow. Well, I know you're a penchant for food and your legendary appetite. So if it's if you're feeling like you're done eating, then that must be a healthy bounty, as they say.
I'm gonna turn into a cod here pretty soon.
Turn into a what?
A codfish.
Do they eat a lot?
No, but that's what I'm eating the most of.
Oh! I get it. Okay. All right. Very good. All right, Frank. Well, you never know what kind of news we're going to be covering here on Phone Booth Fighting. You never know what we're going to be talking about within the world of MMA or outside of it. But and this will not be the first time this has come up on this show. But boy, this is a milestone we're approaching here. Apparently, word has it that the Mir household is about to be comprised of more than one professional fighter. Am I understanding this correctly?
This is true. Isabella finally has taken the dive. Not finally, she's only 17. She's already beating me at things. I didn't turn pro until I was 21, and she's turning pro at 17. So following their father's footsteps of not having an amateur career, which we weren't exactly all on the same page about, but I don't always win. So, yeah, Bella's gonna be fighting down in Mexico, San Carlos, I think. I don't know. I'll post it. I read it. Jen knows. Her first professional fight, October 22nd. So yeah, it's pretty exciting, I mean, Bella's been training like crazy and stuff. So finally she has like a target, instead of just, training for the sake of training, especially with her losing her wrestling season this year. It looks kind of up in the air just because of all the COVID issues and whatnot. And so, she's been itching to compete and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So more strenuous. What part of Mexico are you fighting again?
San Carlos.
San Carlos.
Yeah. There's another mouse trap out there and another dead rat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, someone's putting mouse traps up there. I'm surprised none of them is
over. Huh. Well, they're probably not attracted to whatever's in the mouse trap. I'll talk to the exterminators.
Not every day that you see a father turn to his 17-year-old daughter and say the phrase, "What part of Mexico are you fighting in again?"
I guess that is kind of probably words that haven't been spoken that often.
Most dads are trying to keep their 17-year-old daughters out of Mexico. You've turned it into a paying gig. That's impressive.
And hey, look, I've accomplished the goal that most fathers always dream of, making their daughter very awkward at dating.
Yeah. All right. So
afraid of me now. I can make it just one extra step,
So how did all this come about? Like, first of all, why is Mexico just coincidental that it's happening there, or is there an advantage to it being in? How does Mexico factor into this?
The fact that she's not 18.
Oh, okay. So what I didn't turning pro at 18 was not a serious consideration for me, so I wasn't real up to speed on American age minimums versus international. That's just I mean, how does that work?
So not only is the drinking age lower, so is the fighting age.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about the promotion? I believe it was called Icon. I think is what
I honestly, I'm just learning about it myself. But as far as watching how the promotion is being ran through some of the fights and footage of girls that we're going to obviously, that's where my brain went immediately, is just who our opponent's going to be and start breaking it down. The promotion is really well put together. It's really a nice promotion, much nicer than, some of the first ones I started out in before the UFC, So, and so I was impressed with that. And the promoter, is easy to talk to. And so, everything looks on the up and up so far, as far as for Bella.
She's going to fight at bantamweight, 135 pounds, yeah?
Yeah, that actually finally we switched that idea about 2 weeks ago because, Bella walks around about 150 pounds and she's obviously not very fat. So I was like, why cut weight? Just fight at 145. But finding girls at 145 is a difficult accomplishment. I think you can even see it now. It's probably the least used weight class in the UFC and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
They're having a hard time finding girls to fight in that weight class. I think even when Cyborg came over, it's always been the case. It's just been a very shallow depth pool, And so fighting the bantam at the 135 is what we'll go at. So Bella, she started cleaning up her diet. Not that she doesn't eat unhealthy at all. It's just maybe just being more cognitive of it. Bella does everything right. I wish half the world was as disciplined as she is, and we'd be living on Mars already. But she's we're going to just try to kind of float around to 146, and that's only a 10-pound water cut, and then worry about that the weigh-ins.
So, would you say October 22nd?
Yeah.
Cool. Is there a way? Is there what, Frank?
Your passport up to date? We need journalistic coverage, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, my passport is up to date. Yes, and I'm in good standing with several cartels down there. So if we run into any trouble, I can probably
somebody recognize you and you were friends with a cartel member. Hey, my friend Richard. I'm like, Richard, the head of the. Okay, wow.
So do you know if there's going to be a way for our listeners and viewers to watch this? Do they stream their fights?
I'll find out more. You know me, fully focused on the fight itself. Some of the ambience around it, logistics. That's more Mrs. Mir. She should be walking the door any second here to fix me some food from her gym members. So before I come up here, hopefully before the show's over with, I'll have her sit down and she can tell us what she.
I'd like to see I think it might be a fun viral offshoot series to see Mrs. Mir dealing with the international promoters on that. I mean, I'm envisioning kind of like the Kris Jenner of cage fighting. I'd like to see her in action.
It's actually great. Jennifer and I really enjoy having our marriage works for certain things. That Jennifer is the hammer and I'm a glove. And sometimes it is appropriate to use a hammer. But I'm always trying to see where people are coming from. And when I talk, I'm much more polite. And sometimes it might take me 2 or 3 phone calls to accomplish something. At least my wife makes one phone call, and it's either accomplished or it ain't gonna ever get accomplished now.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, you think about that though, like being perfectly suited to something, and it makes all the difference in the world that you've been together as long as you have, So she's followed basically your entire career, and then she's a really dedicated mom. So you marry those two things together in this particular business, and that creates a very unique skill set, I would think, to help navigate this.
Oh, it does. It's funny. Yeah, baby.
Guys, I almost just fucking ran over Julie. I came flying up to park real quick because I am running late, and Julie's, I almost ran her over.
Oh, wow. She keeps running out.
The front door's open. Okay, listen, I'll call you back because I gotta make things real quick.
See?
Okay, goodbye.
You were saying?
I don't know, what was it?
You were talking about the family business and how this all kind of comes together to
A lot of most probably more atypical relationships, a situation where your daughter wants to go be a professional athlete and fight. I think the mom is the one pulling back on the reins and trying to slow things down. I think out of all three of us, I'm the most terrified of Bella fighting, and I might be the one dragging my feet the hardest. Like, well, hold on, and waiting for the temperature to be perfect, and Bella's ready just to fire forward and go, and Jennifer wants to, Bella to be happy, and so Jennifer's like complete opposite, I think, of what a lot of people would think should be in this situation. Obviously, it's her daughter, fighting, but she's so supportive of her career that again, if you broke it down, I'm the one probably slowing us down the most.
I know I've asked you this before, but probably bears revisiting given the big news here. What are the things? Maybe there's just one, maybe there's a couple that are top of your mind as far as, okay, here's what we're going to watch out for not to happen. Things on the business side of it, things on the promotional side of it. There have to have been those moments in your career where you've been thinking to yourself, boy, if I ever had a kid that got involved in this is one thing I'd tell them to. And maybe it's a positive. Maybe it's something that you want them to be sure to do that you didn't do, that sort of thing.
Bella, it's World War III right now with the Rabbits.
Oh.
I mean, they're going at it hard. Our Rabbits are MMA fighters too.
And my front door's open.
It's a busy household this morning.
Sounds like it.
I think the one thing I'm most concerned about, honestly, keeping Bella is keeping her grounded, which I don't think will be a hard issue. But like, I've seen too many people that, when you see them, a few years into their career, at the beginning of it, they're very humble and respectful and good role models for martial artists. And then they taste success. Success can really test you, and it kind of brings out ugly sides of you. I mean, I can point most, directly to Adesanya at the moment. I really liked Israel when he first came over. His kickboxing career is phenomenal. He's Anderson Silva 2.0. And his behavior this last, leading up to this last fight, I'm like, I realized a lot of it's marketing. But then him dry humping Costa on the ground after the TKO, I found extraordinarily inappropriate. And I got to be honest with you, when I saw that, I thought if my daughter ever did something like that while I was cornering her, I wouldn't stay in the corner. I'd walk off. I would leave in embarrassment and felt like I failed as a father, more so than whether she wins or loses fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it does seem like MMA in particular is a weird level of fame because it's part professional sport, obviously, but even as mainstream as it's gotten, it's still fringe in the sense of, this isn't the NFL with a big players union and, there's a league minimum and, basically if you're playing even on the backup squad, you've got a certain amount of, at least temporary security. And then on the other hand, unlike other professional sports, it's also, there's a lot of there's more showbiz to it sometimes, right? So kind of like what you're talking about is almost like this kind of professional wrestling side to it. So I think you're right on in that it is something you have to watch out for, because even though it can make you famous, it's a weird kind of fame. It can be a temporary kind of fame, and it can also be a fame that's also not particularly profitable. I don't know if you saw what Jessica Rose Clark just did about 2 weeks ago. She just fought and won, had a really great fight. And didn't get a bonus, knocked out her opponent. A lot of people thought she was qualified for a bonus. I think you certainly could have made that argument. But when she didn't get it, she posted a screenshot of her bank account balance, like the alert you get from, Chase or whoever you bank with. And it was like $17.08. And she was just putting it out there like, listen, I'm broke. I need to fight to make money. I mean, obviously she's going to get paid for the fight and the win, but the bigger point she was trying to make was these bonuses aren't just, hey, great, let's, I want a bonus, let's take a vacation. Sometimes it's like the difference of, hey, I'm going to need this to survive for, another year or something like that. So I don't, hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to her about this at some point, but I actually thought that was pretty brave. Like, that's a pretty brave thing to do, to be just that transparent about the reality of your situation. And you're talking about somebody there who is fighting in the top organization in the world, might not be challenging for a title at this exact moment, but I mean, you're talking about 1/100th of 1% of the MMA fighting population that could claim to be any more successful than she is, and yet that's the reality of what she's dealing with.
Yeah, I think this is one thing that a lot of fighters don't realize, and that's one thing Bello sees, is that it's extremely difficult and rare as all hell to get rich off of fighting, even in the UFC. It's just, the amount of time that you dedicate towards your career, the amount of people that you have to pay off as far as trainers and costs of doing it. If that's what you think you're going to do in life and put that money away, you're not going to retire off of it. Unless you're Connor, I mean, even think about it, even John Jones, as phenomenal as he is, you know what I mean? Like, he has a couple million in the bank, but, what other superstar in football only has a couple $1 million in the bank?
Right.
Like, if John Jones was his popularity in the NFL, you'd have a couple $100 million in the bank.
Yeah, and Frank, you know what else that NFL player has? A pension plan.
True. Yeah, when guys, and that's one thing that always is great about the other sports is they guarantee a certain amount of, hey, if you give us 3 or 4 years of your life, we're going to make sure you're taken care of for the foreseeable future. That's one thing we just don't have in the world of MMA. And so besides, obviously, another concern of mine with Bella is just the mistakes that I had made when I was younger, is knowing that, hey, financially, like, this is great, but you just don't save your money and we don't just blow it. We have to leverage this into other opportunities, whether you want to buy a car washing or detail company, and we'll invest in that, whether it's house cleaning company, other things that are going to be generating her revenue. Besides thinking, I think a lot of guys really honestly, and I was one of them, that at a certain point you think, oh, well, fighting's going to make me rich. And it's like, no. You can be comfortable, at a certain point, but as far as, putting away kind of money where you're like, well, I can just, when I'm done fighting, I won't have to work anymore. A handful of guys. I mean, if you think about it, what small percentage of the people in the world that are fighting professionally ever make it to the UFC level? And if those people were even going to cut it down shorter, how many are not going to be coaching or training or running a gym afterwards to pay their bills to keep the lights off? And not because they just want to stay busy and not be bored, but because honestly, it's like, look, dude, you don't have the kind of money to sit off and live off the interest and just make a couple investments and make a couple little, low risk moves on the market. You're going to have to really, you're going to keep working.
I saw this past week, and I can't remember if it was a female fighter. It may have been Lauren Murphy or it might have been Leslie Smith. I apologize because I don't remember exactly who to credit this to, but she made a great point. There's all this conversation right now about, protecting Obamacare and pre-existing conditions and things like that. And this fighter said, every professional MMA fighter, when they retire, is going to have a pre-existing condition. Every single one of them, one way or another. Who's not, right? Something that is going to qualify as a pre-existing condition. And that's the kind of future you're talking about. I mean, that's the kind of thing that one has to be cognizant of. So it's good to know that she's in a she's got somebody looking out for her like that. Now, okay, now here's another
talking about Bella turning pro. Hey, Boo, come over. No. So.
So just go ahead.
There's Bella. Hey, Bella.
Hey.
How's it going? What did I miss there, Frank? Did you just have to run this interview request through Bella's publicist? Is that what I heard happening off camera?
Basically, I had to check with her right now.
Right.
Who controls this here, right?
Yeah. Check with her and then move yourself off camera. I see how this is going. Here, let me go back to the wide shot so I can get you both on there. There you go. There's a wide shot for you, Frank. All right. Yeah. Hey, Frank, see if you can move that dish towel off to the side there. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, this is exciting news, Bella. We were just talking about this a minute ago before you jumped on camera here. So let's get your first thoughts here. You got the big pro debut coming up October. What did we say? It was 22nd, right? Mexico?
Yeah. All
right. Well, I can see you've already taken to your dad's trait of the very calm, the very stoic. Will you be taking a nap in the locker room prior to the fight? I know that's a Frank Mir signature move.
Probably. I took a nap at my first jiu-jitsu tournament, and probably like most of my wrestling tournaments, so it's definitely in the blood.
You've established that pattern.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell us about how this decision came to be. So, like, when did you – I mean, I know you've wanted to do this for a long time, but specifically this fight. Like, when were you presented with the idea, and how long did it take to come together?
Probably like
you probably should have Mrs. Mir over here because you can see where Bella takes off with her fighting approach. She's like, I don't know. They told me it was a fight, and I said yes.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's another question. Will you be like your dad and for your first pro fight, just climb in the back of someone's car and wake up when you get to the venue? You ever heard this story? Yeah.
Sacramento, yeah.
I just climbed in the truck and just...
Yeah, Ricardo drove the truck. I slept in the back. I woke up there.
Well, yeah, I'll probably be sleeping most of the time. Sleep is like I don't know, it's my comfort zone.
Sure. So, but when they came, like, how did you first hear? Let me ask you this: how did you first hear about this particular opportunity? What do you remember about being told for the first time, "Hey, this is actually going to become a reality if you want to do this on October 22nd"?
Probably like a couple months ago, when I think this was when I was like playing softball, and like they were just saying like, oh well, if you want to have a fight soon, you shouldn't be playing softball, so you could actually focus on everything on your own time with fighting and MMA. And so that's when like I knew like I was gonna have a fight soon, and then probably like a month later they were like just giving me options.
So do you remember, how did you find out about this fight October 22nd?
Mom. Yeah, Mom. Probably like a couple weeks ago.
Do you remember that, how it happened?
A couple weeks ago, Mom said that I had a fight with Malky, and they were gonna sign me on the management. What is it called?
First round management.
First round management.
First round management. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What were you doing? Came down in the bedroom. Like, when did Mom come in and talk to you?
No, I came in your guys' room, and then Mom was like, well, Malky just called and said that he has an opponent and you should be fighting around like the end of October. Like there wasn't anything really specific until after they told me that. They were like, okay, well, it's October 22nd in Mexico.
Well, you were first told you that. What was your initial? What did you feel?
Oh, I felt excited.
Yeah.
This is real, or a little bit of hesitation? Or?
I felt a little scared because I was like, well, if I start doing this, I guess I could turn back, but it's kind of like I'm putting all my time into this, so it was like kind of scary. Like I'm putting all my time into one thing now, and like devoting to it. So
yeah.
What was going through your mind? Did you Do you have moments of like just kind of maybe I should change my mind, or you're like 100% gun ho?
I was kind of like, oh, well, should I like not do it just because like if I keep fighting, there's gonna be a lot of girls that like want to kill me, and that's kind of scary. And so I had that kind of thought, but then I was like, no, it's okay, because I'll just trust my training, and my dad's gonna do whatever.
Bill, I've got news for you. That doesn't necessarily have anything to do with fighting professionally. I've only had 2 amateur fights, and I've had a life of a bunch of girls wanting to kill me. So avoiding fighting doesn't necessarily keep that from happening.
I want to kill me.
Now, all right. So let's see here. So you mentioned this opponent. Now, a lot of times at these, introductory professional levels, there's not going to be a big catalog sometimes to see anything about an opponent. But have you been able to learn anything? I mean, obviously that you agreed to the weight class and things like that. But were they able to tell you anything about an opponent, or is this, a lot of times it's kind of like, we maybe found a YouTube clip or two, but a lot of it's going to be unknown. What do you know?
Well, they gave me like a couple options, just so like my dad could just pick some girls. Some YouTube, like just like videos on them too, and that's really about it. Yeah, no one specific yet that I know of, at least.
Okay. And what about Frank? Were you involved in that process as far as like kind of scouting the potential opponents?
Yeah. No, Malky sent me video on different girls, and I didn't pick any of them. I just said that all were acceptable. I didn't see any of them that made me apprehensive, because I think I've been open about that in the past. I want to make sure that it's your Bella's first fight. I don't want to go in there overconfident and feel that put whoever in front of us and we'll win. I think that would be very arrogant. And so, Bella's first fight, there's nerves, there's feelings. You're walking down to a cage to fight somebody. It's a sensation few people have felt, and really nothing can really build you up for it as far as wrestling and jiu-jitsu tournaments. So that being said, I want to make sure it's an opponent that, is obviously going to push us, but not to the point where it's, we're in deep waters right out the gate.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, how are we going to handle the media aspect of this? Because this is not going to be a typical anonymous 17-year-old's debut because of that last name. So, appreciate you coming on Dad's podcast here, but this isn't going to be the only media request you get for this sort of thing. So what's the consensus on how to handle all this? Because on the one hand, it's great, you're going to get this attention. On the other hand, you don't want it to be a distraction, right? What's the plan?
100%. I don't want it to be to where Bella's, has more burden on her. I mean, obviously there is, she is more popular right off the gate than most people turning pro. But I don't want, everybody has a website now or a podcast, and we could probably fill her whole week up with just doing interviews. So Jennifer and Malky set it up to we're basically going to do a tour of a media tour. And so just have it get everybody on one page, everybody can talk, and then after that it'll be over with. It'll be shut down, and we'll go into go dark until the fight.
Okay. I like that. That's a good plan. All right, Bella. Now I got my media hat on. I'm going to reveal to you the number one generic answer that professional MMA fighters give. And as I have a feeling you're going to be more creative than this, because Dad has always been great at giving, and I'm not just saying this because he's my friend. He's always been good at giving thoughtful answers in interviews. This is not always something you get in the world of MMA interview. So Frank, let's do a little role playing. All right, can you and me? Let's pretend it's media day. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna do the generic non-answer first. We'll show everybody how boring this is. And then you give me like a real answer. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, Frank. Your opponent, Roy Nelson, is known as a heavy puncher. Very hard to put away. He'll probably try to keep this fight standing. Are you prepared for to keep this fight standing for 3 rounds?
Yeah, look, I've trained really hard for this fight. My camp's prepared very well, and you know what? Just gonna be whoever the best guy wins.
And if he's being real generic, Bella, he'll give us the dreaded, "I'm prepared to go wherever this fight goes." Oh,
Bad
that's the worst.
The better question, right? The better answer. No, we acknowledge that. Look, Roy Nelson's phenomenal stand-up, and he's going to want to keep the fight there. We're going to have to keep him guessing. You know, I'm going to have to work the takedowns to keep him honest. At the same time, working striking. I mean, there's just fight starts opposite end of the cage. There's no way to avoid the striking era. I just realized that, you know, his greatest asset's the overhand right, so I'm going to push him to try to beat me in other areas. We know what the right hand can do. I'll go ahead and challenge his left hand and his kicks and see what they can do to push him in an uncomfortable area. And obviously, it's him fighting off his back will really eliminate that right hand altogether. But, you know, obviously, there's to be no secrets here. He knows what I want to do, and he knows what I know what he wants to do.
Bravo. Listen to that. What a clinic. That was a clinic. You know, I mean, Frank, you go around putting on these seminars from time to time. You could probably charge to do a media day seminar like that for professional fighting.
I get compliments, and certain ones stick when they really mean something to you. But remember, Vic gave us a compliment on that you and I both kind of helped him with his post-fight interviews about turning questions around and making them about him. So that actually always made me happy to hear that some kind of information that I could have could help out another young guy coming up as a fighter.
Yep, that's right. James Vick, exactly. All right, yeah, that is Super World. Okay, now I gotta see one other thing here. Bella, give us your in case. Okay, so here's what happens. Here's what happens when the MMA journalist asks a dumb question. Okay, so if the MMA journalist says to you something like, well, hey, Bella, first of all, congratulations on your win out there tonight. You've got to be really happy about getting a win. Give me your best Frank Mir face when you hear that question.
I don't know. Is Frank Mir face?
Okay, demonstrate first, Dad. Show her the way. Let me, hey, look right in the camera. Let me see it, Frank. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. So I'm going to ask you the question again, Bella. Okay, this is the stupid generic MMA journalist question. Then you, Frank Mir, face me. Okay, hey Bella, it's got to be first of all, congratulations on your win tonight, and it has to feel really good to get a win. Yeah, I see it.
You have to think more.
No.
What a fucking dumb question.
Oh, I can't stop smiling.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a Lady Mir face, I guess, instead of.
Yeah. I can see it. All right.
We'll give her a few years of dealing with some bullshit questions.
Yes.
We'll get there. She's still young and excited and like. Yeah. You'll get the.
All right.
Does your sport have rules question? You know?
No, the best one was, so when Brock hit you, did it hurt?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was my favorite.
That was a good one too.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Well,
No, it fucking felt good.
I don't know.
now, all right. Do we want to in closing? Do we want to mention any social media or anything like that for Bella? If people want to watch you.
Yeah, your Instagram at Lady Mir 11.
Yeah.
Lady Mir 11 is where you can find her on Instagram, and I'm sure all the details about the fight, and hopefully there'll be some way to stream it or something like that. And
Yeah, as far as viewing the fight, is it going to be on UFC Fight Pass?
I believe so.
We believe it'll be on UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, we'll get the details.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Oh, I see some foods being delivered there. It must be breakfast time over at the Mir household. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Then let me let everybody get to eating here because camp is officially going on here.
I was just notified this morning as Jennifer was handing out food. Bella got hers first because her fight's coming up. So.
Oh yeah, that makes
already
sense.
I've taken a back seat.
Yeah.
Aware of that, but it's becoming more and more evident.
All right. Well, congratulations, Bella. We're all very excited, and of course, everybody will be behind you here. The whole phone booth fighting contingent.
Thank you.
So you will. It's going to be an exciting month. What's that, Frank?
This actually might be the time we need the backpack.
Yes.
I need you because I'll go up on stage with this one. I need you to help train me with the backpack. We'll be cutting weight, so it won't just be for show this time.
Boy, everything comes full circle, doesn't it, Frank? I mean,
now you are the master and I am the student.
That's right. That's right. Because you do not want to get this started off on the wrong foot with it.
For my organizational skills. So
yeah,
Mrs. Mir has no tolerance for me messing up anything with her daughter. So if I want to avoid getting a shoe thrown up my head, I better make sure that the Gatorade's ready to go or whatever. Pedialyte afterwards.
Boy, that is a good point because I have seen your gym bag, Frank. That is all manner of disarray.
My truck.
Yeah.
Someone could be hiding in there waiting for me. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you never know, Frank. You could look in that gym bag and find a couple of old opponents from 2009 or something.
There's no Garrett's arm.
All right. You guys enjoy your breakfast, and we'll be following the story here. Congratulations again, Bella.
Thank you.
All right. We want to tell everybody to check out, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel, youtube.com/phone booth fighting. We got a Patreon page, patreon.com/phone booth fighting. And Frank, please mention the sponsor banners up at phoneboothfighting.com, will you?
Yeah, look, hey, American Shaman CBD is phenomenal company, guys. Honestly, like if you've tried other CBD products, you haven't been happy with it, try American Shaman. You can go in any of the stores also, besides just clicking on our links and get a free sample. And then Mitrospec, Kratom has really helped change my life. I'm being honest, guys. It's everything on our banner is something that I stand by and use myself. I mean, hell, I was giving my son last night the CBN because he was having a hard time sleeping. So I stand by all the products. I'm going to give them to my children.
That's it. For Frank Mir, I'm Richard Hunter. We appreciate you being with us on this one. Please tell a friend about the Phone Booth Fighting podcast. That's how we grow this thing. And we'll see you right back here next time.